Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning Lawland. It's an absolute honor to welcome best-selling author Ian S. Thomas in the house, and he's expressing every word you cannot say. Thank you so much, by the way, for all the incredible work, and the recognition you've been getting worldwide is absolutely inspiring.
It's you know, I live on the tip of Africa, so like it's just crazy the way it's gone all over the world.
So tell us though, how did that experience growing up affect the words you cannot say now in your journey?
Well, I grew up in apartheid South Africa, so it was a really difficult time. It was a very authoritarian place and a very conservative kind of place where you weren't really allowed to express yourself or be different. And so, you know, that's informed my writing quite a lot, where when I started writing poetry online back in 2007, I made a conscious decision that I would never talk about someone's race or their gender or their location. I would always talk about you, the reader, as a human being. And so that's informed a lot of my work.
And the readers, Steven Spielberg, Khloe Kardashian, dozens of celebrities have endorsed you because of what your words have given to them was a voice of things they couldn't say for themselves.
Yeah.
What is it that you're saying? How does that in turn express them?
Well, I think for me, my writing has always been about trying to find something basic and true and human about the reader. And I think I'm always trying to find a connection to someone who I don't know. And I think that search for humanness is something that resonates with other people, no matter who you are. You know, people say my writing makes them feel less alone. The act of writing it and having that kind of response makes me feel less alone. You know, so it's a kind of two-way.
So important.
Yeah.
And today we have so many, you know, a lot of the movements are just about having a voice for the voiceless, right?
Yeah.
So who would you say you're writing for?
I'm writing for everyone who has some kind of challenge in their life that they struggle to talk about, whether it's a struggle with a relationship, with their career, with their family. And we all have those struggles. We all have things that we struggle to talk about. The world is this incredibly divided place right now. You know, no matter where you are, whether you're here in America or in South Africa or Brazil or New Zealand, no matter where you go. And I think we need a kinder world, and a kinder world starts with being able to talk to ourselves and being able to talk to others. And so that's why I wrote this book.
Love it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little taste.
Sure, I'll read you guys something.
Yeah, please.
Sure. You are here, so know the kindness of the universe, and know that there is great hope for us if we can find the hope inside ourselves first. Embrace the you inside you, silence the voice that stops you from being able to truly help yourself and others. You can be someone who matters to others. You can be someone who matters to you. There is a kind of light that can shine in anyone if they give themselves the space to shine. You need to remember, because life has a way of making you forget.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
You know what I especially love about it? Not just that the words are so beautiful,
Yeah.
it's written so eloquently, but you can feel the presence and the kindness from which they
Yeah.
from where they
Yeah.
come. You know what I mean? That's the powerful place. In order for you to write from that place, is there something specific that you need to do to stay in that place, or are you always in that place?
You know, I mean, I've struggled with depression myself, and so I have a variety of different strategies to deal with that. So for me, it's about getting enough exercise, getting enough sleep, eating healthy, waking up early and making sure that I'm, you know, you guys were talking about it earlier on, living with intention. You know, I think we're so distracted today by all the different things that we have access to on our phones and everything else. And you know, for me, if I can be very purposeful about what I'm doing when I sit down to write, if I know what I'm trying to do, then that's a good, healthy space to write from. There's this weird, you know, creative myth that artists tell themselves where they think they need to be depressed or they need to be sad in order to be...
Artist angst, I
Yeah,
call it.
exactly. It's a very dangerous myth that people tell themselves. The best things I've ever written have come from a healthy space.
And that's empirical. That is empirical, because you know, for a long time, that's exactly what they say. Oh, you need to be depressed to be creative.
Yeah.
And they actually found you're much more creative.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're happy, when you're, you know.
You know, writing is a great way to kind of exercise emotions from yourself. I always say art is a wonderful way of allowing an emotion to leave the body. You know, you write it down and then you can walk away from it. And so writing is an amazing form of therapy. And when you are sad, it can be a very productive thing. But the best things you will write will come from a healthy space.
Oh, just
So
fantastic.
lovely.
Yeah.
Do you find any challenges at all between sort of writing this really beautiful piece and then coming from that place of presence and kindness, and then knowing that you need to get it out into the world, and that lots of folks might invite you, encourage you to take a path that doesn't feel nearly as kind or as present in order to get the awareness out? Have you experienced that at all?
I do. I mean, it's a strange thing where there's this kind of struggle between being a creative person and making sure that people are seeing your work. You know, because everyone has a second job now, which is being on social media. And so, you know, the act of, you know, trying to, you know, put your work out there and share it with people can be quite frustrating, because it's actually kind of counterintuitive to the creative process. The creative process is something where you should be fully present. You know, you should be doing deep work and in a state of flow. And then to come out of that and go, oh, I need to post it on Instagram and use the
So true,
use the right
right?
hashtags and like.
Insta story this moment. Hang on.
Yeah, exactly. And am I doing it right? Is it the right time and everything else? And it's a very counterintuitive process for a creative person. I think.
Have you found it helpful to outsource that, or do you do it yourself?
I do it myself. I have some help every now and again, but I don't know. You know, the world is such a strange place in terms of, you know, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything is kind of ruled by algorithms now. So whenever you're doing something on social media, you're kind of second guessing, what does this machine want? Which is very which is very scary for a lot of young creative people, I think, because, you know, they're not even writing for an audience, let alone themselves. Some of them are writing for a machine. They're writing for an algorithm.
And you just nailed it, because algorithms aren't about, you think that it's about predicting behavior. It's actually about guiding, controlling behavior to a large extent. I mean, that's the point. That's how they get you to do things. So it's a profound...
Damn machine.
See?
It's the man, the machine.
The Matrix can explain everything in that movie.
It is. It's a very, you know, we've always had these big fears that robots are going to come and take our jobs. They're not. They're taking the audience, you know, because I was speaking to a musician the other night, and he was saying that there's guys who make music for Spotify, and there are certain things that they know the Spotify algorithm favors, and so they write their songs for that algorithm, not like what they think someone might want to hear, but what they want to do, you know. It's for a creative person right now in this space, it's a very tricky space to navigate.
Well, thank you for bringing us back to a sacred moment like poetry. So tell people where they can find your book and you.
You can find it wherever good books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Target, Amazon, everywhere. You know, the last thing I wanted to say actually is it is National Poetry Month today. And I think, you know, the world really does need poetry right now. I always say it needs kindness, it needs compassion, it needs love, and it needs poetry, because poetry is all of those things.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree
Thank
more.
you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.